Hey gang, this is Mike with my Real Estate Dojo, and I know I had some trouble in my last live video, so I'm gonna go ahead and redo it. The number one question you should ask a seller to build rapport with while you're over the phone or in person is to know the seller's name and use their name over and over and over. That's one of the easiest ways to build rapport with a seller. Now, let me tell you what happens. I'll have students in front of me and they're doing cold calling, or a lead may come in, and what happened is they'll sit there and they'll ask the seller questionnaire form that I have at the dojo. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, and then they'll get all the way to the end of the question. They say, hey Joe, well they'll say, hey seller, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What's your name? So after they spoke with the seller for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, at that time they're now asking, hey, what the seller name is. And even though I've drilled to them over and over and over, this is wrong, for some reason, the quarter just doesn't drop. They don't get it, okay? Now, the correct way to do it is when somebody calls my business and the phone rings, I answer, I say, hey, it's a fantastic day at Mr. Investor. This is Mike. How may I serve you? And whatever they say, the next question I always say is, hey, my name is Mike. What's your name? And notice the way I ask for the seller's name. I always give something before I want to receive. And that's the golden rule of life. If you want to be successful, you have to give before you receive. So the first thing I say is, hey, my name is Mike. And I give, and I say, what's your name? And then they'll tell me their name. And once I get their name in the first 15 seconds of the conversation, I'm going to use their names like over and over and over and over and over throughout the conversation, okay? So, for example, they say, hey, call comes in, I say, hey, this is Mike. What's your name? And they say, my name is Joe. I say, hey, Joe, what's your situation? Why do you want to sell, Joe? And he goes, blah, blah, blah. I see Joe. And I'm using his name so many times throughout the conversation. And that is one of the simplest tricks to do to build rapport with the seller without knowing advanced moves or advanced techniques to build rapport. Okay. Now, many people, for example, including you, even myself, when we meet people in the public, we'll shake their hand and say, hey, I'm Mike, what's your name? And they say, my name is Sally. 30 seconds later, we forgot the guy's name or the girl's name we're talking to. And this is so common in the world we live in because there's so much information out there. We're so busy. So by you spending your time to remembering that seller's name and using it over and over and over, it's just gonna make you raise above all the other people out there, because 80%, 85% of people, you meet them, they're not gonna remember your name 10 seconds later. But if you're putting time and interest in remembering the seller's name, it's just gonna make you stand above the crowd, guys. Now, I wanna add a bonus to this. That is, when you talk to sellers, you really need to understand the art of listening, okay? I can't stress this anymore. The art of listening is so fucking important. In the society we live in, there's so much advertisement, there's so much noise out there, there's so much noise pollution that all we do is hear. And hearing is just the mechanical of hearing noise. Listening is processing that information and then coming out with a solution, okay? As real estate investors, our primary job is to solve problems. And I would say 80% of my students, when they first start out, they're on the phone, they're making calls, they're asking the sellers questions. So they ask question number 1, question number 2, and the question number 2, the seller may answer question number 3 and question number 4. And then my student will say, well, then they'll ask the question number 3 and the question number 4. And I'm like, yo, idiot, that seller just answered your question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4. See, you're just hearing, you're not listening. And so if you don't have listening abilities, if you don't build rapport with the seller, guess what, guys? You're not gonna get the fucking deal, because the seller's gonna come across guys like me that understand the art of building rapport, the art of listening, and we're gonna get the deals because we connect with the seller. Most people never connect with the seller. They talk to the seller, they hear what the seller says, but they never listen and they never connect. And your ability to be able to connect with the seller, your ability to listen and solve the seller's problem and connect with them and build rapport with them is going to determine if you get the deal or Bob gets the deal, if Sally gets the deal. Now, so many of us believe that we need to have all these techniques, like we need to have the push, the pull, we need to have all these sales experience and all these sales tricks to get the deals. But what I teach at the dojo is called sales enlightenment. And in sales enlightenment, you put your client, whoever you're working for, your seller first. You don't put yourself first. You don't put the money first. You don't put your interest first. You do sales enlightenment, which means you put the interest of the seller first, and your true goal is just to help them out. You're not trying to sell. You may not make any money, but you're okay with that. Your only goal is to become the best at the art. Your only goal is to become the best problem solver. Your only goal is to help them out. And the more you're able to plant these seeds of helping people out, A, it's going to help you become a better problem solver. B, you're planting seeds of greatness, and the law of attraction is going to just bring everything to you. We all believe that what we put out is going to come back to us. It's written in all the holy books. In Christianity, they say this, the seed you reap is the seed that you get, basically. Whichever you reap is whatever you sow is whatever you reap, right? So same thing happens in sales. It's very, very important that when you're in sales, it doesn't matter if you're doing personal training, real estate, you're a realtor, it doesn't matter. You got to put that person above you. And the more you're able to do that, the more you're going to be able to make money, because the law of attraction, because you're really, truly care for people and you want to help them. And by you helping other people are going to come and help you. And so the goal is not to be a salesperson. The goal is not to be this shady ass individual that only thinks about me. Buy from me. Let me pull the wool over your eye. That's old school way of sales. The new way of sales is called sales enlightenment, where you're out here changing yourself. You're trying to become the best person you can be. And by you doing that, you're going to be making moves that you can't even see. And these seeds are growing into a big harvest. And before you know it, boom, you got this shit. And you don't even have to know all these little tricks. You don't have to go to all these seminars. You don't have to learn all these fucking books. So coming to the story, the number one question to ask a seller is their name, and use their name over and over and over till you build rapport. Now again, go out there and hustle and bustle. Don't take no for an answer, guys. You live in the best country ever, America. There's no reason to live paycheck to paycheck. There's no reason to hate your fucking job. There's no reason to drive all the way every day to fucking traffic, guys, if you don't like what you fucking do. Guys, in America, you don't need money, you don't need credit. All you need is imagination, an idea, and fucking hard work, guys. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, hey, Mike, well, Jesus doesn't work every day, or why should I work 7 days a week? Because if it's something you really want to fucking do, then get so impassioned and just be burning with it. And you got to grind it out, because you can do it. And whenever you put all your energy in something, before you know, you're in flow, and life is much more happier than when you're just standing still, when you don't know what the fuck you want to do, when you're only working 5 days a week and you got 2 days off, and you hate working those 5 days, and you're just looking to that fucking Friday. To me, a Monday and a Saturday is all the same, guys. To me, I don't even know what day it is, dude. It just doesn't matter, dude. Every day's, I'm alive, I'm chasing my fucking dreams. I'm very grateful that I live in America. I'm very grateful that I have my arms and legs. I'm very grateful that I have an idea that I could chase, and I'm chasing it. And that's in itself is happiness. That's in itself is wealth, guys. If you don't have a fucking dreams and you're not chasing your fucking dreams, then I think you're wasting your life. I think you're wasting your life's purpose in this world, guys. So don't take no for an answer. Go hustle and bustle. Fuck a naysayer. Fuck anybody that doesn't believe in you. You don't need no banker. You don't need your parents. You don't need your spouse. You don't need your girlfriend. You don't need your friends. You don't need anybody. You don't need the news. You don't need anybody believing in you. All you need to do is believe in yourself. Put your fucking head down. Turn that fucking TV off and just go hustle and grind. And before you know it, you'll be changing people's life. You'll be changing your life. You'll be changing your family's life. And before you know it, we have a better world, because we're all doing sales enlightenment, which is helping your neighbors before you help yourself, and understanding that by the more you give, the more you're gonna receive. And it's not about the fucking money. The motherfuckers that work for fucking money are just in a fucking rat race, guys. Never work for money. Work for what the fuck you love, dude. If you love whatever you love, go do that. See you later, gang.